What's up, guys? Okay, so this is part 2 of our front bumper kind of upgrade series thing that we're doing. Not really a series, but we just got this honeycomb grill put on. This one's gloss black. You can check out the video right there. And then
that one's already out.
We got these are from a company called Rough Country. They are, can you pop that cover off if you don't mind?
I'm gonna do that one.
They are
Pain to get the cover off.
6.5, or they were 6-inch black housing LED lights. So we're gonna take these bad boys.
I'm kind of bummed that you won't really like have it used.
I know, I can't like take them on and off at will.
Yeah, like if you had like an easy way to kind of like slot them.
Yeah, because it looks cool, like RC, like right behind there, like
yeah,
that.
like it's kind of dope. But then you're just like, oh, I'm not gonna take the whole front bumper.
Those are gonna go right there, like so, and it'll be both sides like that and like that. So we're mounting it behind the grill. So today we're gonna be getting that done and figuring out all this stuff.
So they sent us, just so you know, they sent us 2 lights.
And by the way, this is the dual light pair. You can get the single for like 55 bucks, and then the duals are, you save some money. I think you save like 10 or 15 bucks if you buy a pair.
Okay, these are gonna be the ones that actually go in the lights. Here you have your power and ground. Comes with a relay, everything's already wired.
Not bad.
And then you come with a
nice shroud too.
Switch.
And then the switch will go in the car.
Yeah, and the switch is, thankfully, you can just undo this and then it all disconnects, so you can easily mount stuff where it needs to get mounted.
Yeah, feeding that through the firewall is going to be a pain in the ass though.
It always is, especially on things like this.
Yeah.
So we'll figure that out.
Yeah. So preliminary routing is going to be relay probably near the battery, wiring running back here. Probably going to have to take this cover off completely and then feed wiring through the firewall so that the switch is near the driver. And then obviously the rest of the wiring will run up to the lights right here. Yeah. Something along those lines. So we're going to figure out how we want to diagram this and then get back to you. Okay, so this is the light. This is how we have the wiring diagram. We're running from the battery.
Yeah, here, I'll pull this out so you can see.
It's going down through here and then behind here on the left, on the inside of the washer bottle, up through here and then across the top of the bumper support like that. So we'll do some wire cleanup in there, but here's the light. He's gonna connect power. There's a button. Pretty cool. Like, if you can picture it, it's gonna be pretty cool. So we're gonna figure out getting that switch to the firewall is gonna be a pain.
Oh, and also just so you guys know, so all this wiring right here, this is all, you have our fuse, you have your power and ground, we have our relay, and then this side all goes to the switch. What we're going to do is pull this little plastic tabby up.
Yep.
And then we're gonna tuck these guys, which are the lights, underneath there and get all this in the battery area here. And then run the switch inside.
Very similarly to how we actually wired the flex fuel setup.
Yeah.
In a way, actually, like almost identically, except for the fact that we were running the bypass and we didn't have to worry about the firewall. But like, as far as the tuck was concerned and the wiring, it's very, very similar.
Yeah.
Very cool. All right, guys, quick side note, something that I want you guys to be aware of. It may not be necessary, but it'll give you peace of mind. When it comes to off-road lights, even companies as good as Rigid Industries, I've seen people complain about condensation within 30 days to 60 days. I'm not saying that that's going to happen with Rough Country or any other company for that matter, but look at how these bolts on the side and the front are mounted to the housing. Those are the ones that secure the front lens over the lights, right? So I would highly recommend just taking a minute for each of your housings, whatever lights you decide to get, if you want to get these or whatever. Just make sure that those bolts are tight, especially if you're going to mount them in a place where you can't really access them, like I'm going to do behind the grill. I don't want to find out that I have condensation in 30 days and all I needed to do was tighten down the bolts. So something to keep in mind. Put that down. And then this is where we're at with wiring. So obviously we're going to tuck everything in here. We've just pulled up that piece right there. This left side piece comes off very easily. Just peel this up and pull. Once you've got this tray out, it's done. We are going to use this right here to feed our switch through. It's exactly the same way we did it when we fed our, what was it, the sub install that we did on the 350Z. It's going to be the easiest one. We will find a place to retrieve it from the other side. Then we'll have to run it under the dash, behind the dash, and get the switch up to the driver's side position. But this is coming along pretty nicely. You're probably, for sake of ease, your front bumper is definitely going to have to come off. If you guys want to see how to take a front bumper off, refer to that front grille install video that I had put up earlier. And we'll let you know where that wire comes through in the glove box. Okay, so in order to feed this wire through the firewall, we have to take out the glove box. In order to take out the glove box, you have to remove this side sill cover. Not the side sill cover, the side sill cover
on the inside.
In the inside.
The kick panel.
Kick panel where the ECM is.
This guy.
Side panel right here.
And we're gonna get the bottom, which has some clips that I'm just gonna feel around.
Now, if you guys are already here, I'm sure a lot of you guys haven't done this because it is a pain to get to already.
On the G specifically.
Yeah, on the G specifically. I would recommend highly to get your cabin filter done too. This car has 181,000 miles on it. I just did a bunch of servicing. Actually, that reminds me, we have to do another video on that servicing. But this is the filter that we got. It's the STP Max filtration, part number right there, CF1815M. We'll put a link in the description along with the other stuff that we're installing in this video, so you know. I can go right there.
Okay, so you just grab that lower panel, pull it down at the front, and then pull it out.
Yeah.
And you take this and give it a little pull.
Is there stuff back there? I see where it's holding right there. Yeah.
Yeah, there's stuff right there. Oh my god, there's
It's like napkins and baby wipes?
Yeah.
Hey, now we can wipe more things.
Great.
You know? Great. It's right there.
If you can see it, for sure.
Yeah, it's right there.
Do what you gotta. I can't see it.
It's right here.
Yeah. Well, it's just gotta come off. There we go.
There you go. So you just give it a nice little tug, and you have to pull that retaining strap off.
Yeah, you don't have one. It looks like you had one in the past, or it just popped off right now.
It probably just popped off right now.
More than likely.
It's hanging right there.
Yep. Good. Then it popped off.
Yeah. Hopefully you didn't break it. No, not broken.
Then you have this big plastic piece back here with like 7
Six or seven
Phillips screws on it.
Yeah.
So we're gonna get the little thing to do.
Oh, look at you. Work smarter, not harder, ladies and gentlemen.
That's a word. And then we're gonna take all those out, and then we'll pull that piece out, and
we'll show you where the cabin air filter goes.
Yep.
We'll do that before we start feeding this wire through.
Yep.
Okay, so that panel's out.
Yep, that panel is out. You actually only had 3 of the 7 screws. You can see, should be 7, but you have 4 across the top, 1 here, and 1 that's supposed to be right there. Yep.
Okay.
You had 1, 2, 3. Missing all those.
What the heck?
You also have our hidden switch.
Mm-hmm.
Our light, and whatever this is supposed to be. I'm not sure, actually.
Is it connected to something?
Yeah, it has a wiring connector that goes to it. So, when you pull this down, you will have some little clippies to take off.
Yeah, I wonder what that is.
Get that out of the way.
It's
and then
ejectocito, cuz.
that's useful.
Yeah.
That's always one of the best switches you can have in any car.
It's the first switch I usually install on my builds.
Yeah. 100%. But now, you can finally access where this little cabin air filter goes, which is right in here. So, let's see if we can get that, because I can't even see what I'm doing from here. You want to scooch over real quick?
Yep.
Shove my dumb head in there.
Don't be so hard on yourself, bro.
I'm just kind of emo, bro. Sad or something.
Don't go to that dark place. That's what the off-road lights are for.
But I like the dark place.
We light up the dark places.
There we go. You're going to pull it from the little tab right here. That'll open this up.
Tab on the right side.
Yep.
Open it up from right to left.
and then it'll be stuck for a minute, and you'll figure out how to get it out. It has more tabs. But you can see in there, there's our, there you go, it pulls out.
Yep.
Our, ew, disgusting.
Ew, brother, ew.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. It's some grossness on the sides.
Well, I could tell you if it was OEM or not. Oh, it's a US made. Okay, if this is US made, then this is an aftermarket air filter, cabin air filter. Because I assume an OEM one would be made in Japan or China, right?
But you do want to make sure you compare your new and your old.
Yeah.
You know what's funny is that feels really light, right?
Yeah.
Feel this one.
Yeah, it's about twice the weight.
Like dense, you know?
40 weight?
50 weight.
40 weight sounds nice.
But you get your little junk plastic bag open.
And there's not any specific way you slide it in, right?
No, actually there is.
Oh.
You will notice that on good ones, it will tell you airflow.
So that's this side up.
Yeah. Because the air's flowing through the box this way.
But as far as orientation, it doesn't matter if it's this side in or this side in.
No, but it matters if it's this way or this way.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So since you know it comes in from the cowl right up there,
Yeah.
you know,
This
you
would
want
be the top.
airflow
Yeah.
to come through, do the thing. So we're just gonna take this and shove it in there. This one's kind of funny because it's just loose in there.
Yeah. I didn't realize it'd be just so loose sitting, like,
Yeah, it just sits in
you would think that it would, like, lock in somehow to maximize
Some cars do.
filtration.
Some cars don't.
Look, I mean, it looks like it locks in. Oh, wait.
Yeah, it kind of clicks in. You know.
That... Okay. Whatever, bro.
Whatever, bro.
All right, and then you pop that back on, and that portion is done for the cabin air filter.
Yep, that's it. And then you reassemble the whole box.
Yeah, so now that that's basically done, we're gonna take a blade, which is right here. We're gonna cut this guy. And then we're gonna feed this switch connector right here through there. So I'm gonna cut a fat enough hole and make that happen. Okay, so just so you guys know, we're grounding to the strut tower right there. That's the fuse. We couldn't get that nut on top of the positive terminal off. It's pretty rusted, I guess, or seized up.
Corroded to it.
So we took an extra M6 nut and pinched it between the nut that tightens down the terminal. Now, as far as the rest of the switch is concerned, we've come through right here, like we talked about. It fed through pretty easily. Use a screwdriver to kind of pry that open once you've got it cut. Now we have the wiring down here. This is going to be kind of an annoying part. Ideally, you should have some baling wire. We're looking for it, but we might have to come up with another solution. We've got to get it up behind the dash. It's not a far travel, but it's a travel, and it's a blind travel, so we'll figure that out in a second.
It won't be that difficult.
Yeah, it'll probably be easier than feeding the wire through in the firewall, to be honest.
No, there's going to be a space there that we can shove behind.
Yeah, totally. Okay, that was kind of annoying, but we fed it through. There's like a small part in the dash. Sorry for it's dark, but what we used, and this might work for you guys, we just happen to have it as a spare part. I zip tied 2 battery tie downs together and then zip tied.
These are actually the things you put Christmas decorations into the ground with.
Oh yeah, they're stakes.
Yeah.
Basically camping stakes together.
Yeah.
And then I used them to feed that wire through, and then Indy grabbed it from the other side. You're gonna need, like, you can use a coat hanger or something. You just need something that's gonna give you the leverage to kind of wiggle around in the blind spot.
Yeah.
So from there, we're gonna wire up our switch, and that'll be fun.
Well, and then that'll be light to plug in and turn on.
Let's do it. All right, guys, we're on day 2 here. The wiring's through the car. You saw the switch. So what we're doing now is figuring out exactly where we want the footprint of the L brackets that came with the kit to be. We've turned them in and then had the curve facing forward because the risers that I got, they're a little long, so I want them to be able to tilt back, but also get this light as flush against the grill as possible. So the amazing news is that based on the size of this thing, we can use this center flared piece of the bumper support as kind of like a guide, as to where, because we know for a fact that if this is flush, that means this light is straight, which is awesome, right? So we turn these in, we have the clearance, we can pop those on each side. We don't have to trim this or worry about drilling into that to have some funky approach angle. So now from this step, we're going to probably do a horn relocation. We'll probably, I mean, there's a decent amount of slack, but we're probably gonna move it like right here, which is totally fine. It'll block a little bit of airflow with the radiator, but it won't be the end of the world. And then we need to add our riser brackets that I got, or just random steel M8 riser brackets. I'll link also, and we're gonna raise it, and then we're probably gonna, if we run the assumption that, well, we know for a fact that this is the line for the top of the grill and this is the line for the bottom of the grill, that means we want our light to be closer to the top, which is going to be like this. So right now the horn's in the way, so we have to move it so I can kind of push it back a little bit. Otherwise it's just gonna, this thing is literally just gonna make contact with the grill. So yeah. Okay, so we've taken just like a little silver Sharpie and figured out where we're marking. This is why you measure twice and cut once, because this was the initial, and obviously we drilled a different hole than their original marking, or my original marking. Well, we measured actually a lot of times before we drilled. Now the tricky part, if you guys want to get a nut on the inside of this, you're gonna have to drill a hole into the front of the bumper support that's wide enough to fit a 10mm ratchet. Bless you. Thank you. And I think the minimum hole size that we needed was like 7/8 of an inch, right?
Yeah, for the head.
So,
the wrench to go through.
What's up, dude? So we're gonna take this, where is it? This is a titanium nitride coated step bit that we just went to Home Depot and got. It was not cheap.
Christmas tree bit.
Christmas tree bit. It was not cheap. It was like 55 bucks, just so you guys know. And we're gonna drill a hole right through here, hole right through here. That way we can feed a wrench through and hold a nut to the bottom as we drop a bolt in.
Yep, pretty much.
Yep. Will definitely fit through that. Okay, so something you guys should note probably, you know, maybe prevent a little bit of rust. Indy went ahead and filed a little bit of these holes, and then we just laid down a little bit of satin black paint to protect it from rusting. Also, we've been painting these riser brackets that I got. So you're probably gonna want a can of paint for this. All right, just to give you guys an idea of how this thing looks behind the grill.
Bro, you needed to enter that much harder. You need to just start with. There you go. Thank you.
So right now we have the housing set up to clear about like 5 to 7 mil on the grill. So this is obviously just one side mounted. You can see how that looks. We're gonna have to take the bumper back off right now, obviously to mount the other side, and also to figure out exactly where we want our beam to land, which we will have to do right as it starts getting dark. So let's get the other side on. Go for it. All right. So the bumper's not fully mounted, but it is on, and the lights are pretty much where they're gonna be. Let's see it. Yeah, that's a vibe. That works really well with the grill. That's dope. So we still need to figure out exactly where we want our beam pattern to be. So we're gonna wait till it gets a little bit darker to do that. We still have to do the headlights on the car, we're gonna do right now. So some closing notes for you guys to think about, like things you're gonna need. Besides the hardware kit, you're gonna need the risers. You're probably gonna want to have some black spray paint to paint your bumper support when you drill it with that Christmas tree step bit that goes up to 7/8. Yep. Along with, you're gonna want some Loctite just to be safe. because it's going to be hard to get to this thing unless you want to take your bumper off if it moves while you're driving over a rough road. I do not want to deal with that. I don't ever want to have to touch these things again, ideally. Otherwise, you know, make sure you take your time. Like these,
lining everything.
Yeah, just you know, make sure you take your time. Measure a lot when you cut in, but you guys can see the clearance. So that's how far it is away from the grill. We still have to adjust like up, down angle and lock down the top, but everything else is locked down. So that's basically it for the rough country off-road light install that goes behind a honeycomb grill. You could also do this behind a mesh grill. A thought that I had, but we're gonna stick with, is that if you don't want as much splash on the grill itself as far as reflection of the light on the grill while they're on, you can paint the center of your grill matte black so it absorbs the light.
But we did talk about that, and on this particular style of grill at least, it would be very difficult to do because you get into like this lower area where like, you know,
the grill just molds into the thing. You would have to spend a lot of time taping it off, and it just, juice isn't worth the squeeze in my opinion. So
yeah, that's
gonna do it for the video. I'm pretty stoked with this. Obviously I'm not gonna be able to run 3-inch intakes. Maybe we can make 2.5s work, but I'm not planning on doing that anytime soon, probably just some runners. So let us know what you guys thought of the video in the comments down below, and if you want to see any other G37 content, check out our G37 playlist, and like, subscribe, ring the notification bell, and we'll see you in the next one.
And we appreciate you guys.
Boom.